Hello, my name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. And today I wanted to introduce to you someone I greatly admire. This is Dr. Anthony Fauci. The good doctor was born on the 24th of December in 1940 in Brooklyn, New York. I don't have a time, so this is a solar chart. Hence the sun right there on the ascendant. Good Dr. Fauci is a moon phase 24. And let me read something that Yeats said about it. It was a poem he wrote about a moon phase 24. It would be the world's servant, choosing whatever tasks most difficult among tasks not impossible. It takes upon the body and the soul the coarseness of the drudge. Okay, let's look at a moon phase 24. Let's review this here. Got it? Okay, here's the 24. And it's this is the fire quarter. This is the journey of the soul. And each journey has 28 stages, and at the end of that stage, one has created something very important that is called the lapis of great value, or the philosopher's stone. And it is your own contribution from your own personal perspective of 28 lifetimes of living one path, one intent. So here we have 24 is working in through the fire quarter, and that's where remember the intellect has been created in the air quarter. The physical capacities are developed here. The personal creativity is developed here. The personal mental, your mind, the way your mind works is developed here. And so up here at moon phase, right up here at moon phase 21 is the perfection of the intellect. And so what these people are doing then is they're putting spiritual muscle on this skeleton of a mind, this structure, this mental structure that is our own unique perspective. So what these people have to do, these are politicians over here. The politicians, theorize and make laws and judge and all of that. And but what they're working on is virtually pure theory. If we do this, this will happen. Yeah, maybe. So the mistakes and what you've set, what laws you've set in motion in past years, can become calcified because culture evolves, the society evolves, changes, and so that's what these people over here are to do. They are to rectify, change, destroy the mistakes that were made here. It's their karma. Their karma over here, this is their karma. You get to work on what you did back there, the mistakes you made back there. So here's a moon phase 24, and what 24 is about. It is about personal excellence. The creation of personal excellence by pursuit of a path, a traditional discipline. For instance, Anthony Fauci, his family owned a drugstore in Brooklyn, and so it makes sense that moon phase 24, who was raised in a drugstore, would be head for the medical field, and specifically the medicine for the masses. And that's what these people up here do, is they're the advocate for the masses. They're the advocate for the people down here that have to suffer all this down here has to suffer from what this up here does. It's paid in the physical price, politics. What these people are doing is fighting for the common good, and so that is virtually what Dr. Fauci is doing. It's an Aquarian thing. Notice that Moon Phase 24 has gone from Capricorn, Virgo, which is medical, into Aquarius and the Aquarius decadent. And that Aquarius has to do with groups, masses of people. It has to do with organizations. So, so Dr. Fauci heads an organization, and he is head of an organization that's actually trying to guide us through a pandemic. And it's Aquarian because you don't know what's going to happen next. That's the thing about Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus right now. Let me look here. Uranus has been moving across Dr. Fauci's Jupiter-Saturn conjunction there. So here, let me introduce you to Dr. Fauci here. He's a Capricorn, 3 degrees. Mercury in Sag at 22, Venus at 5 Sag, Mars at 22 Scorpio, Moon at 5 Scorpio, the North Node 7 Libra, Neptune at 28 Virgo, Pluto 4 Leo, Chiron at 0 Leo, Uranus 23 Taurus, Saturn in 8 Taurus, and Jupiter in 8 Taurus South Node there at 7 Aries. It's interesting because Saturn's been, Saturn. Where has Saturn been in this guy's life? In here. Saturn and Jupiter are both moving through, Jupiter's moved into Pisces, but Saturn and Jupiter have been moving. But Uranus has been moving across. Dr. Fauci's Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. Jupiter-Saturn conjunction seems to me a waste of a good Jupiter to stick it there by Saturn, but it mitigates the hardness of wherever that Saturn is. And Saturn in Taurus, well, it's persistent. That's one thing. And so what this Jupiter does for Fauci's Saturn is make it expansive in its it's not a narrow path he wants to go. It's a widening path. He wants to become more and more know the Uranus side of it, which is I want to know the whole truth now. That's Uranus. And so because it's opposition to his moon is up there in Scorpio, and a moon in Scorpio really wants to be the boss. It has a real urge to set things in order. It's, Scorpio is personal power. And so that moon wants to use its personal power. But that Saturn, Jupiter over there says, no, you're going to get opposition all the way down the road. And so what he's had to do, this is a struggle. This is a struggle. And we can watch him on TV as we see the Uranus move here. We don't know where exactly, I don't know where this moon is. But it was in Scorpio all day and will be opposing this stuff all day. Maybe even, no, it isn't conjunct, I'm pretty sure it isn't conjunct the Mars, because I don't think it would go that far in that day. And he would be much snappier and aggressive. This moon, Jupiter, Saturn over there, it can be deeply frustrated. And I'll bet he has been deeply frustrated. One has to admire his self-control. And that is a capacity of these people. These people are this is the rectangle of self-definition. They're into, this one is virtually into self-definition, self-control, expansion of self, or self as self as judge, jury, and executioner. This is a person who just wants self to be excellent, to become spiritually powerful. These people, are putting spiritual muscle on the skeleton of the intellect up there. And this is virtually where they start to do a study. It's just the Merlin phases, and moon phase 24 would be, if you know the stories about Merlin, moon phase 24 would be where Merlin moved into the woods to study astrology. Anyway, Dr. Fauci, this is really difficult. He's got his south nodes down here, and understand this is the solar chart. The solar chart is the only thing it doesn't tell you is exactly what time today this is going to happen. It's the solar chart is very valuable. The Arabic parts are derived from the solar chart. They take all the relationships of the planets to the sun and the moon, and they direct them to the ascendant and say, okay, this is where this will happen. This is exactly where this will happen. And so you've got, your point of death, and that has, I think, Saturn's relationship to the sun, and point of marriage, and that would be Venus's relationship to the sun. So this works. And so we've got down here this Aries, this urge to just tell people, just to tell them the truth, and to tell them the truth in a Scorpio way. That could even be laced with profanity, although Dr. Fauci and I are of an age where we still wince when we say shit and things like that. Just ingrained into us to be a little kinder than the world is right now, or to be, actually it wasn't kinder. Everybody looks at the past as the golden age. It wasn't. I do believe we are advancing. I just hope we survive the hurdle we're going through right now. I do believe we will. The cards and my dreams keep saying that we will. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. There's worse things than death, Okay, Dr. Fauci deals with death. Notice this Pluto over here is conjunct Chiron. And so what Dr. Fauci has to do is deal with the death of other people. This is an inconjunct here. And let's face it, Dr. Fauci would rather not deal with your anger, your sickness, and your death. We'd rather not. Pluto, it also rules this pandemic. It rules it's not a bug. I don't even know if it's alive. But anyway, these viruses, it's his work. And it's an important work. Notice that this inconjunct is is a Scorpio inconjunct. It's a life or death issue. The inconjunct down here would be the Virgo inconjunct, and now it's more of a health issue. Okay. So Dr. Fauci is getting ready to have his Uranus return. Most exciting. Okay. Let's see what I want to say. He's got some really interesting fixed stars. They're not your common fixed stars. They're not the ones I memorize. They're just the ones that I have earmarked. His north node is conjunct a fixed star called Diadem, and it has personal sacrifice. That means you do a really hard work for no personal gain. And it's demanding that of him. Down here we've got the south node in Aries, in which Dr. Fauci would simply be able to tell people, this is the truth, get over it. And But he can't do that. He's got to be diplomatic. And a nice thing about Libra demands that he be diplomatic. Libras make great diplomats. Um, Eisenhower was Libra. And though some think that he did diplomacy at the cost of the war, but he did what he had to do, and he was a good diplomat. He got along with people, and that's what Dr. Fauci has to do, is get along with people, in spite of the fact that he's got people who just obstruct him. Just people who just obstruct him. That's his Saturn over here. Fortunately, what he's got to this Saturn, this Mars is 165 degrees from the Saturn, from this stubborn, persistent Saturn. This Mars, it just wants to hurry up, get it over with, and blast through, has got this 165, Noel Till called it a Queen de Chile, but I thought that was really too pretty for something. I don't know, I just call it 165, and what it is, a 165 is, you've got your opposition, blank. Come back 15 degrees or go forward 15 degrees, and you've got the 165. And what that gives you is tenacity. And so you really need it when you've got this Saturn in Taurus. Although the Jupiter does say, get it on, move it, move it. This Mars is able to control himself. Remember, that's one of the hallmarks of this rectangle of 6, 10, 20, and 24, is that they're all seeking excellence, and they're doing it in their own way. So let's go to this Chiron here. What he's had to do is struggle with all of this difficulty. He's got a really good Neptune there, even though that it's square the sun, and the sun says, "Thou shalt sacrifice, thou shalt." And he's got the North Node that you really ought to do this sacrifice for the common good. So, in spite of the fact that he's a man that really would like to have more control over what he can do. I mean, he gets bored, and he's got a very boring job, which is called trying to tell other people the truth without offending them. And oh my God, is that difficult now? So he's had to develop his own authority. This is an inconjunct. Okay, over here we've got this. Which one? What do we have? The Mars. Somebody here has got, we've got it's on the wrong piece of paper. Okay, it's the Mercury. The Sun Mercury are parallel, and that means virtually treat it like a conjunction. And this is contraparallel, so treat it like an opposition. So he can't avoid this. Now, if he were an inconjunct, he could say, if it was just the inconjunct, he'd say, I'd rather die. Because it's an opposition, it says, well, we might kill you if you don't. I've got the Sun-Pluto opposition, and I've always been overly concerned about the dangers out there in the world. Of course, I was raised with an older brother who could have killed me. I'm glad he didn't. He must have liked me some. So, the good doctor here, he's just, I admire him very much. He's doing the 24 thing, which is control yourself, be self-reliant, be self-disciplined, have high ethics, and have high standards. The difficulty, as we can see, is him being able to communicate and being able to get across what he needs to get across. Is God, like I say, you got to be a diplomat. He has no air, and that kind of leaves you sort of gasping for air. I only have one air. And here's what happens when you don't have an element. You hunger for that element. You need that element. And so I have in my yoga studied a certain amount of pranayama and stuff, just so that I can recover from the fact that I was born air deficient. So was the Dr. Fauci. I mean, I have a library to compensate for low air. And I imagine Dr. Fauci has a huge library to compensate for his lack of air. But what it makes this really difficult, and it really strains him, because this Mars-Uranus, that just is just, I want it immediately. It's got to be immediately. Anyway, I had a couple of other fixed stars I wanted to tell you about. The Saturn here, that is so important in this chart, is a fixed star called Hamal, Hamal, and it is determination. And with that Saturn, of course, it's already determination. So that's a real talent that he's got and has to have in order to do his job. It also means conflict with the authorities. And that's one of the reasons why he's had to become an authority in his own mind, in order to compensate for the fact that he is constantly challenged, and sure has been lately. His personal self-value has been challenged by well, you know, the United States was born of people who didn't want to be where they were and are reluctant to share where they are now with others. So it makes sense that we would be doing what we're doing. Oh, God forgive us. So, and another one, another fixed star, I keep wandering. Another fixed star is this one, and this is Ras Al Hag. It's R-A-S, capital A-L-H-A-G-U-E. And it's a healer. It's a healer. And it's the leading planet, the Oriental planet, to his sun. And it is a challenge to repair what's been damaged. Cool, huh? So that's Dr. Fauci. I admire him. I laugh when I watch him. He holds his own. He's got a good Mars in Scorpio. It's difficult because he could just tell the world, you know, where to get off. He doesn't. He really wants us to understand because he knows that's good for us. And he wants what's good for us. That's that fourth quarter people, is ability to hold up to that what they know is good for us. Yeats said something like ability to quarantine people for their own good. So, and he's got that. Dr. Fauci has that. He got problems. This Pluto is square here, and that right there is a challenge more challenge to his authority, as though he hadn't enough with the rest of the stuff going on. And this gives him can be unreasonable expectations. He can not have enough doubt. A lot of it is just wanting to get it over with. Move it along, please. Yeah, that'll do. Move it along. And he doesn't do much of that. He can't. He's got this Pluto, and this Pluto is very, very aware of the job of this chart right here is to promote the common good. Anyway, I pray that you're well. I'm still wearing my mask. I really enjoy not getting the cold or flu. And and plus I made my masks, so I have some really pretty ones. And I hope you're well, and that you're telling the people that you love them. It's really important that people feel loved now. If Donald Trump had felt love while he was growing up, he'd be maybe a decent person right now. Who'd have known? Who thought? Anyway, take care. Love you. Bye-bye.